Hi everyone, it's Angela Rahm and I am a naturopathic doctor. I own Ideal Self Today and I'm a co-owner of the Hopewell Healing Center in Madison, Wisconsin, and I'm a national director with ID Life. Welcome today. It is the beginning of 2016 and I know you're all thinking weight loss, and I am here today to tell you I have specialized in weight loss for years, and the hardest thing that I get from my clients is I just don't know how to prepare everything. I just don't have the time. I don't know what to do. So I'm here today to show you how you can make your protein dishes really super quick. So today what we're gonna do, I have turkey, ground turkey, I have ground beef, I have chicken breast, skinless chicken breast, and I have shrimp that is not cooked. I've already peeled it. It's cheaper if you buy it already, or that's not peeled. So it takes a couple minutes to peel a pound of shrimp. So I'd recommend that. And get wild caught. We always want to get wild caught seafood. So today what we're going to do is I'm going to take the pound of shrimp and I'm going to divide it into several servings, and we're going to just saute it up in some garlic, olive oil from Wild Tree All Natural Seasonings, and just put it in bags just to have kind of as a quick protein snack, and I can add any kind of vegetable with it for a lunch on the go when I need something really quick and I don't have time to prepare anything. Ground turkey and the ground beef, we're going to do a couple different things. We're going to take the ground beef and we're going to make little mini hamburgers, same with the ground beef. Then also with the ground turkey and ground beef, I'm going to mix them together and make chili. It's wintertime here in Wisconsin, so there's nothing like a nice warm bowl of chili. And then I'm going to use the rest of the ground beef to make some of those, or make some taco meat actually, because who doesn't like tacos? The chicken breast, we're going to do 2 recipes. We're going to do kind of a lemon leek recipe that will go in the oven, and then we'll do some barbecue chicken with that. So we're going to get a lot of meals out of these. We're going to proportion them up into 3 to 4 ounce servings when we're done, and you're going to freeze them. And when you freeze them, guess what? And the next day you just pull it out, and unless it's the chili, which I've eaten cold chili, it's still pretty good, but you can eat these foods they're very tasty cold. So here we go. So the first thing we're going to do is I have my vegetables, not really prepped, but I have them somewhat prepped. I have green leafy, I don't even know what you want to call this.
Kale?
It's not kale.
Cabbage?
It's not cabbage.
Oh.
It's leafy greens. So leafy greens, I was thinking they were beet greens, but they're not. So I just take leafy greens. I don't follow recipes. Those who know me know I don't follow recipes. I kind of just, whatever I have in the kitchen or I feel like buying, I just add it in. So for my chili, I'm going to actually add in the leafy greens. I'm going to cut it up really tiny. I'm going to add in some spinach. I'm also going to add in some onion and garlic. And I'm actually going to pre-steam some cabbage and then add that to the recipe later, and a little bit of peppers. So it's really good. And if you have kids, they don't even really realize that they got vegetables in their chili. So that's what I'm gonna start with, okay? So here we go. We're just gonna dice these up. We're gonna peel. You wanna make sure you get this middle area out. It's kind of tough and actually kind of bitter. So you wanna just get that out of there. And we'll probably do about, I don't know, we'll cut it up and see what we get. You know, if you're doing your weight loss planning, when you actually prepare your meals in advance, you're going to be more apt to stick to your plan. It's when we're starving and we run home from work or we don't eat lunch, you know, the body's going through a famine phase. And it's going to store your food that you're eating as fat. So we really need to make sure we're fueling the fire, so to speak, of our metabolism. And it's not hard to do, especially if you plan. I'm just going to kind of nice and dice. And I'm going to throw it in my bowl. So you can see it's nice and diced. My lovely assistant Denise can actually give you a nice closer shot. Thank you. I'm not a chef. Hopefully I don't lose a finger doing this. Celery, you have to be careful. If you put too much celery in, it can actually overpower any recipe, any dish. So just, if you love celery, great, but make sure everybody who is going to eat the food you're preparing loves celery too. I even chop up some of the tips of the celery. And of course, when it comes to vegetables, try to get all organic. Organic, at least you're not getting genetically modified vegetables in your body. Body just doesn't recognize them. You know, they've been genetically modified, so that's GMO. Look for the number 9 on the little tab on your onions. I don't know if that'll even work, but maybe they can see that. That should have a number 9. If it doesn't, we're in trouble.
Starts with a 94082.
Perfect. So I'm going to kind of put my vegetables that I know cook really fast in a separate bowl, and my vegetables that take a little longer to cook in another bowl. Onions and celery, and usually I do garlic with that too. They take a little bit longer. I love onions and garlic. When I cook, my husband's always like, woo, you know I'm cooking. You don't even have to be in the kitchen. You can smell that garlic. Love it. Life without garlic, be like life without wine. It'd be ugly. Okay, let's throw some zucchini in here. I'm just gonna rinse this off really quick. We have Nicole at our center actually works with an alkalizing water system. So we want to do an acid pH when we're washing our vegetables if you have that ability. And zucchini cooks pretty fast, especially if you have kids and you don't want them to know what's in there. You're going to cut it up really fine. If you cook it up really fine, it's going to cook really fast. I just start with a kind of a bulky chop and then just go in, and I have a husband who doesn't necessarily care for all these greens in his food. Now, there's really no recipe, you guys, when it comes to like a chili. And to me, chili is kind of almost like a little goulash too. So I just kind of, whatever I like, I just throw it in there. Because once you get the seasoning and the tomatoes, and the garlic and the burger, you know what? That's pretty much what you taste. It's more about the seasoning. I've even put carrots in mine. I didn't have any carrots. I didn't feel like buying any carrots. So we're not putting carrots in today. So this cooks pretty fast. We're going to add that in with our leafy greens. Looks good already. Let's see. Let's cut up some onion. So I used to own restaurants. I used to own Subway restaurants and Papa Murphy restaurants, and oh my gosh, if you've been to one of those restaurants, you know that they do sell a lot of onions with their sandwiches and come with a lot of onions on their sandwiches and pizzas. And you just knew who was, customers were crying because we would do, when you did onions, you did them all. You just wanted to get them done, get it out of the way. So what you can do, if you're very sensitive or you have a very kind of strong onion, is you can actually cut them, put a cutting board in the sink and cut them underwater. And it completely stops that strong scent that makes your eyes water. I love onions. I actually kind of chop them a little bit choppier because they do cook down. Okay, that's going to go in with our celery. And you probably don't need to use this much onion, but I love onion. That's why I don't follow a recipe, because I cook how I want to cook. Let's do a little pepper. I'm not a big green pepper fan, but if you are, you can certainly use green pepper, red pepper, purple pepper. I'm a pepper too. I'm not cooking with wine, see? That's my humor. So we're gonna just chop up some pepper. Peppers are gonna cook a little longer. Put those in with the onions and the celery. So you guys, if you're on any kind of weight loss challenge, hopefully not a cleanse that's not going to allow you to be without protein for too long. But if you are on a challenge, you know, just take every day, day by day. And what's great is if you can spend an hour, I mean, literally, once you do your prep, cooking doesn't take very long. So if you can just spend a little bit of time in the kitchen cooking, you're not in the kitchen. And when do we get hungry? When we're in the kitchen. So I would really discourage you from trying to cook every day. Because if you're like me, you're going to cook a little, you're going to eat a little. You're going to cook a little, you're going to eat a little. What'd you say, Denise?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to just see, by luck of God, we might have a garlic press here, but I don't think we do. That's all right. So I like fresh garlic. Garlic that you buy, and trust me, I buy it more often than I'd like to admit. It is convenient, but it doesn't offer the nutritional benefits that real garlic from the grocery store provides. So try to just use real garlic. And garlic is so beneficial for your health. I won't go into it all, but you can certainly Google it. All right. Something I could have done beforehand. And sometimes garlic has a little green in the middle. That can be a little bitter. You can take that out. Because I'm cooking chili, I'm not going to worry so much about it. It's only just a little bit.
I was reading online about garlic too, that you should never put it in the refrigerator because it puts it in a dormant state and then it can grow.
Yeah, and if you've ever left your garlic in the fridge too long, you know exactly what she's talking about. You're surprised it didn't open up the fridge and walk out. Okay, so I'm using about 6 cloves of garlic for my chili, which is probably less than I would normally use. If I had a garlic press, I'd probably be using a lot more. Again, I don't chop it really fine. You don't need to. It'll cook down. But you don't want to put whole garlic cloves in there either. I love roasted garlic in the oven. You just cut off the end and you can drizzle it with olive oil. They actually have little like terracotta cooking bowls, I guess you could call it, that you can buy. I'm going to leave my garlic off to the side because everything that's in this bowl that we cooked up, we are going to steam. All right, cabbage. Now, I bought a whole chicken. We're not doing this today because it's almost too easy. You can buy the roasted chicken. And what you can do is you can actually eat that for a meal, and then whatever's left, make chicken soup. And you can just add carrots, celery, onion, garlic. Chervil is a awesome seasoning for chicken soup, salt and pepper. And once I added purple cabbage in my soup, it was kind of like a Bridget Jones moment. My soup was purple. So I use yellow cabbage or white cabbage for that. For chili, I'm not going to use all of this. When I use, and I would recommend, I just didn't have it. I had this left over from a salad I made at Christmas. And when you use the white cabbage,